The Rosemont Regional this past Sunday that I went to had to turn away about 100 players, and more interestingly, because that happens every once in a while, regional player caps do get met, and it sort of is an issue. But what was interesting about this regional in particular, and this weekend in particular, is that another regional on the same day also hit their player cap. That was the New Jersey Regional. They only had to turn away, I mean, I wasn't there, but people said that they had to turn away about 50 people. How is this happening? Why does this happen? And I'm going to talk about that in today's video. I'm also going to talk about my tournament report. Let's talk about these player caps. So the Rosemont Regional at 10:30 with about 100 people left in line, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more. It's hard to tell. I didn't ask everyone to count them. But as far as I can tell, about 100 people. At 10:30, the tournament organizer came on the stage and well, there wasn't a stage. He came on the microphone and he said, "Hey, we met the player cap. It's 400 people, as it says on the official Yu-Gi-Oh website that Konami puts out, and we can't accept any more people." And people were pissed. I mean, a lot of people were pissed, especially like my friend was in there, and he was waiting in line. He got in line at like 9:35, and he's still like, because that's like the issue, right? You get in line 9:35, you think you're good because you don't get when you go to like tournaments and stuff, they usually cut the line at like 9:45 or 9:30, and as long as you're in the line before then, even if it's like past 10 o'clock, which is when the regional is supposed to start, as long as you were in the line before that point, they won't start the tournament yet. So he was in line 9:35, like 10 minutes to spare, whatever, and that's when a lot of people actually end up getting in line, and he waited an hour. He stood in line for an hour just to be told that he can't play in the regional, and that's soul crushing. That leaves a bad taste in people's mouths when it comes to Yu-Gi-Oh events. Try traveling, we traveled like 3 hours to go to this event, and I got into the tournament, but like he didn't, because he kind of like overslept, and then he just came a little bit later than us, and it's like, why would you ever want to go to Yu-Gi tournament after that experience? Especially, I mean, imagine if it was like your first experience, like you saw online, it said, oh, it starts at 10, so you just show up at like 9:45, and you get in line, and you wait in line for an hour, and then you can't play. That definitely sucks, but I wanted to talk about it because I feel like it's important to talk about. I'm also talking about, yeah, I mean, my own tournament experience, but more importantly, let's talk about this regional cap issue. So, yes, I didn't even know this because I never bothered to check, but on the Yu-Gi-Oh website, the official Yu-Gi-Oh website, every single regional has their own unique player cap, and they seem, I mean, I say unique, but I really mean that. I mean, they all have different ones. Like for the Rosemont one, it was 400 people. For the New Jersey one, it was 500 people. Probably why they didn't have like so many people turned away. But for some of the really small areas, they like Idaho and stuff like that, Iowa and stuff, they have like 120 people cap and stuff like that. But then you look at LA and they have like 1,300 people. So what happens? Why does this even matter? Why do these player caps matter? The player caps matter for a few reasons, and this is what the tournament organizer said, and that's kind of, I mean, I felt a little better after hearing this because, I mean, it makes a little more sense, but so there's a couple of reasons. It's not so much fire safety. Sometimes that happens if you have like a smaller building, but we were at a pretty big convention center. There were actually plenty of extra tables. So what's the issue with these player caps? Well, the issue is that, first off, the product that you get for entering a tournament, they don't bring enough for everyone outside of that player cap. So for example, 400 people, if you're having 400 people each get 5 packs, that is a hell of a lot of packs. And then you have this issue where if you accept 500 people, how many of those people actually get those 5 packs? Because it's Konami tournament policy to give people 1 pack per $4 or something equivalent to that, because OTS packs are worth a little bit more. But in general, if you go to a regional qualifier, you get 4 packs. That's the rules. So they can't actually accept anyone if they can't give them packs. So they don't bring enough packs for like 500, 600 people. Well, now they can't accept all those people, so they have to do that cap for that reason. More importantly, though, I think from a player perspective, if you're saying, I don't care about the packs, they can just ship them to me later. The biggest issue, at least in my opinion, is that they don't have enough judges for that many people. If you think of like a regional that has 700 people, you don't want to have a regional 700 people that has 4 judges. That's going to be awful. You're going to be waiting like 10, 15 minutes just to get a judge answer a simple ruling question. There are a lot of judge calls every single round. So the bigger issue to me, besides the packs, is that there aren't enough judges to handle that many people. It's a real shame, though, because obviously like, it's not a good experience for a lot of people. On the other hand, the positive note is that this means that this format is like super exciting for a lot of people. It's never been this frequent as far as these player caps getting met. I haven't really heard about it other than like this one. Interestingly enough, the other region, the only regional I've ever been to that hit that player cap was also run by the same people that ran this regional for us. So maybe they should just increase the player cap. But as they said to us, I guess the last 3 Rosemont regionals that only had 230-ish people. So this 400 person player cap seemed like ridiculous. Like, how would they ever hit that? I think the format is in such an awesome awesome spot right now. And I also think it's like winter break, and a lot of people haven't gone back to classes yet. Maybe they're going back to classes this week. I know some of my friends are. In general, because it's winter break and because the format's so awesome, because Firewall Dragon is banned, people are really excited to play Yu-Gi-Oh! And I've had so much fun at this regional and at the Columbus regional. I can see why that happens, but it's kind of this bittersweet situation where like the format is so good that regionals can't handle all these people. And I know that Konami might not see it that way, but because they're going to go like, well, then like 6 months from now and the format sucks again, like now people aren't showing up to regionals. What's the deal? Let's lower the cap again. But I think that right now the format is so good and so much fun to play, and you play against so many different decks at a tournament, even at the top tables, even at the bottom tables. It's just fantastic. And I think that's why people are so excited to go to these events. Sucks that they can't get in sometimes. So just, I think the lesson of this is just show up as early as humanly possible, especially if you live nearby. Like I usually figure I just want to show up at every single regional at like 9 o'clock. That is plenty of time, and that's even when I'm traveling like 3-4 hours for it. So I don't really understand people that only live like 30 minutes away or an hour away that are showing up like right at 9:45. Just show up early, make it easier on yourself, and hopefully this doesn't happen again. Hopefully they increase the player cap, and that should make Rosemont regionals in the future a little bit easier for players to not actually just get turned away from. But yeah, that's what happened at the Rosemont regional. That's what kind of happened at the New Jersey regional as well. As far as my own tournament report, I didn't like top. I didn't even stay till the last round. Super frustrating, super weird situation here. I posted on Twitter, feels weird dropping from a tournament when you only have one match loss. And a lot of people were like, well, what happened? Did you have like a family emergency? Did your car break down? What happened there? No, I actually just had so many draws. I got 2 draws. I think I didn't show up for round 7, so I left at like round 6. And it's just this really weird situation because I like to look back at previous tournaments and go, well, what can I change from my loss? If I look back at the Columbus tournament, I can tell you exactly. I took 2 losses in that tournament, 1 round 2, 1 round 9. The round 2 one was to the mirror match. I learned that I wasn't prepared for the mirror match, and I changed that for this event. And then round 9, I lost it because I just made a horrible decision, and now I changed that going forward. So I can look at those losses, learn something from them, and then adapt my future tournament experiences to those losses. So when I look back at this one, it's really hard because I lost round 1. I just got bodied. Like the word, if you're watching this video, I don't think he knew who I was, but if you are watching this video, like that is the most I've gotten just like wrecked in like a tournament in like the last 5 years. Like it's crazy. I just got savaged. He killed me in like 10 minutes. It was fantastic. I don't think I played any cards except like 1 infinite impermanence from my hand. Other than that though, he just like comboed off. It was crazy. It was just bad all around for me. I didn't draw any monsters. It was rough. Well, I drew 1 monster, and it was a monster that was low enough to Aqua Dolphin. But in general, that was crazy. And then like, so that one, I'm like, well, what could I have done differently? Well, not much. You can't just like tell yourself like, oh, just draw the hand traps, because like you don't always draw the hand traps. Actually, my problem was just not drawing like any Altergeist monsters. So then you can say like maybe it's the deck choice. But in general, if I'm gonna play Altergeist, there's nothing I could do about that match. It was just variance. That's totally fine. And then I think to the rest of the tournament, it's like, well, I never took any more like match losses. I just took some draws. And the draws, they weren't my fault. They weren't my opponent's fault. Neither of us were slow playing in both cases. Honestly, they were just so grindy. One was against Thunder Dragons. We didn't even get to play game 3. Game 2 and 1 took so long. But it was just back and forth. It was fun Yu-Gi-Oh! It was good Yu-Gi-Oh! It was each players using their resources, using their deck to their fullest potential, and it was a ton of fun. And then it ended in a draw because the new time rules suck. And it's like, what do I make of that situation? I mean, you can make of it like just I should just play a more aggressive deck, but it's like both of us were playing so fast. Like we can, if the game is grindy, it seems like these new time rules just encourage you not to play grindy decks just to OTK your opponent, which is really weird because I know a lot of people that comment on my videos say like, man, new Yu-Gi-Oh sucks. You're just always OTKing people, but we're talking about 2 top decks here, Altergeist and Thunder Dragons, pretty common decks. Altergeist at like the top of the tier 2 status, Thunder Dragons a tier 1 deck, and it's like the situation where like, yeah, even with those top decks, it's very grindy. It was very exciting. It was very skill intensive, but there just wasn't enough time in the day. And the next match was against Rongo Bongo, another deck that people were like, that's a big combo deck. The matches end really fast. Their combos take really long, but the match itself ends really fast. Not the case. It was super back and forth. The first game took like 28 minutes. It was some of the best Yu-Gi-Oh that I've played in the last 2 regionals. It was so much fun, and it sucks that, I mean, we went to game 3, but we only had like 2 turns in game 3 because the new time rules, and I was in like total control. Like that's completely, I mean, it's kind of regardless because like the new time rules they're just the current time rules now. They're not as new as they used to be. They're like 8 months old or whatever, 6 months old I think. But in general, like it's like a situation where I have like 5 negates, but they're all like solemn cards that I can't activate because I don't want to lose in time. And it's just, we only played like 2 turns and I was in total control, but the game ends and you can't do anything about it. Not my opponent's fault, not my fault. It's just, that's how Yu-Gi-Oh is. It seems like the new time rules encourage you to not play grindy decks, even though that's what a lot of people enjoy out of Yu-Gi-Oh. It's a really weird situation. So I'm trying to make up for. I'm just like, well, what do I take from this regional experience? I guess just play even faster, play more aggressively with my grindy deck, something along those lines. But it's just a weird situation. But I thought my list was really good. It ran really well because like I didn't even, the only match that I lost, I didn't even get to like play the game at all. So that's kind of a poor representation of like what it actually is capable of. But overall, the big change that I made was I played Trap Trick. But anyway, that's pretty much all I have for today's video. And I do want to mention just quickly at the end here, one of the issues with these player caps is that they can't just put them infinitely, right? Because Konami can't just put like 100 judges to every single regional and then only have a couple players turn up for them. So these player caps are in place so that they kind of get an idea of how many people are supposed to be working there, how many packs they're supposed to bring. From a resource management standpoint, Konami simply just can't give every single regional the exact same amount of resources. I just think going forward that these should actually be increased a little bit, just slightly, and be a little bit more format dependent. That's really difficult to actually understand. But I think right now, at least for the next couple months, people are excited to play Yu-Gi-Oh! So maybe increasing those player caps just a little bit can make it easier for the players trying to go to those events. Anyway though, I will see you guys later. Thank you so much for watching today's video. Tomorrow I'll have the deck profile from that event. I was going to put it in this video, but I rambled on way too much about my tournament report, so I'll put it in the next video. You guys can enjoy my Trap Trick Altergeist deck profile. But I'll see you guys later. Thanks so much for watching. Goodbye.